Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this cabinet meeting. Are there any apologies for absence? Thank you. Any declarations of interest? Thank you. Well, on item 3, minutes of the meeting held on the 17th of September. They agreed. Thank you. We move to item 4, stage 2 consultation on Merton's new local plan. Councillor Martin Welton.
Thank you. I understand you've got Councillor Monday. You're taking Councillor Monday afterwards. Or?
Yeah.
Fine. I'd just like to present this report to the panel to move stage 3 consultation on the local plan. As you will see, a public consultation took place between October 2017 and January 2018. It recommends that Cabinet resolves to approve the second borough-wide consultation of at least 6 weeks to start in October 2018. As you'll see from the appendix, the Borough Plan Committee met recently to discuss this document and to discuss the next stages. One of the recommendations they have made is that we look into the statement of community involvement, but it also examined the call for sites. You will be aware that we recently had a call for sites across Merton Borough, and a number of sites were actually put forward for potential development over the next 5 years. This is something we as an administration actually welcome, because we do have very challenging housing targets set by the Mayor of London. The housing targets haven't been finalised yet and are still subject to negotiation, but it's quite clear the direction of travel is that we as an authority do need to be pro-development. And I think myself as Cabinet member, I very much take a unity approach. Yes, in my backyard, we do want to see more housing built in this borough, because we do have a huge housing crisis here in Merton, with many people being priced out of the housing market. So it's important that we have the right planning policies going forward as an authority, but we have robust planning authorities in which to determine planning applications. Alongside the local plan, you will have recently seen the launch of the Wimbledon master plan. It was front page in the Guardian last week. I think this is something I welcome, because we do need to do things in Wimbledon. Wimbledon is a very prestigious place, but we want to be even better, and that's why we're having that debate about Wimbledon at the moment and the future of the town centre. We have here in Morden the regeneration going forward with Transport for London, which will do further work over the next year. Again, this will be an integral part of the local plan. So going forward, you will see within these papers various recommendations. The local plan is key to this borough. We are a borough that wants to go places, but we know that we need to have those policies in place in order for us to do that. I formally move this report, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Welton. I'll now turn to Chris Lee, and then I'll come to Aidan Mundy, Councillor Aidan Mundy on the Borough Plan Advisory Committee. Chris Lee, did you want to add anything?
Nothing to add, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. We'll now turn to Councillor Aidan Mundy. Thank you for the work you're doing, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And may I say it's an honour to present this item of business of work from the Borough Plan Advisory Committee, which I chair. And I just want to draw the Cabinet's attention to 3 areas related to our recommendations. So it's the work already undertaken, the work ongoing, and the future work of the committee. So I think the report presented to you today does an excellent job at summarising what the Borough Plan is, and wide-ranging discussions the committee has had at our meeting on the 26th. And I just want to add that councillors from across all the major parties of the council, cross-party group, fed back into the report, into the recommendations, into the list of sites, either in person or via email. So this is done with cross-party support. And now the consultation opening up, I would encourage colleagues to make further representations either via the consultation or to myself on the committee. We're due to have our next meeting in late November, And in that meeting, we're going to do a stock take of the consultation, and again, very welcome to hear colleagues from around the table and indeed the public if they want to write to us on that. And just in terms of the sort of future aspects of our work, our final recommendation is for the Cabinet to direct officers to update the statement of community intent. So last year, the town and country planning regulations make a commitment on Merton to actually update that document. So what we're asking the Cabinet to do is approve that we start that process now rather than later on in the business calendar, so that the future Merton team and with the support of Democratic Services can actually take that bit of public work forward and a really important document. Otherwise, I'll take any questions if there is any, but thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Councillor Monday. And yes, there is a recommendation to urge you to move towards a revision of the Statement of Community Involvement 2006. Thank you for that. Any other issues from Cabinet members? Any questions? Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Mundy, for your contribution, and we have a good meeting in late November. And thank you for the all-party approach that you undertake through the work of the committee that you chair. Thank you very much. We're on item 4, Stage 2 consultation on Merton's new local plan. Recommendations A to C. Are they agreed? Thank you. Thank you very much. We move on to item 5, the Draft Business Plan 2019-23. Councillor Mark Allison.
Okay, thank you, Leader, and thank you to everyone who's spent so much time working on these documents for this evening. I don't think that it would be an exaggeration to say that most local authorities across the country feel that they are in a very precarious position financially. A campaign over the last month or so has talked about council finances being at breaking point, and the colossal austerity that's been forced on councils by the government since 2010 has clearly had a major impact on the finances of many local authorities. Obviously, the most extreme example of that we've seen so far has been the total collapse of the finances at Northamptonshire County Council. There are reports that other councils are on the precipice as well. We are not in such a precarious position as them, because for many years we've been trying to operate in a business-like fashion and prepare for the future. It's what we've done previously in moving to medium-term financing, and it's what we've done by having monthly financial updates of where we're at and being able to plan and transition our finances as a result. But even then, most councils, including our own, have lost around half, if not more, of our funding from the government in direct grant. And the impact of that is being felt by all of our constituents. We see over the last few days people worrying about the consequences of the full introduction of the universal credit and the shaming impact that is going to have on the very poorest members of our community. We spoke about it at the last council meeting about the need to fight against that. But we also need to remember that some of the cuts to local authority finances have had a big impact on local residents across the country in services that they receive from their councils. So we've made many tens of millions of pounds of cuts since 2010, and the current financial position that we find ourselves in, we're projecting that we need to find further savings of around £20 million by 2022-23. And that puts us in a very difficult position. It means that we have to consider changes to the way that we operate as a council, that we wouldn't necessarily want to. But we need to make those savings in the way that is fairest and causes the least harm to the most vulnerable people in our community. That's not to say that there will be no harm to people when the scale of cuts that are being forced upon us are the size that they are. So what we have sought to do with this document, as we start to flesh out the budget papers that will be agreed next March, there's kind of three elements of what we're hoping to achieve in this round, in this submission. The first thing that we do is that we look at previously agreed savings from previous budget rounds and analyse how they're going and whether they can be implemented effectively. And we've suggested that some of them should be replaced with other, we call them obviously replacement savings. So that's part one. Part two is to look at the capital programme, the expenditure on capital projects for the council, and to assess the merits of those. See, we achieved a lot through our capital programme, built many things, fixed many things, and we want to be able to continue to maintain a good level of service there. And the third thing that we've done with these papers is we've started to introduce some new savings for this and future years. This only goes a fraction of the way, frankly, towards the total amount of savings that need to be achieved. But the savings that we've been able to identify at an early stage. We'll be continuing to look for further savings as we go forward. In particular, we'll be looking at environmental regeneration savings and how they can be introduced. It has to be said that there's been a big impact on that department because of the introduction of wheeled bins, which has been designed to reduce the amount of street litter by eradicating, as far as possible, black bags that can be split open by animals or whoever, and with the contents spread around our streets. It's also to increase the amount of recycling that we generate in this council, and to get people to be using their brown bins and properly disposing of food waste. But it also has to be said that that saving is also about that introduction of food bins is also about the finances and the precarious finances of councils, facing councils. And we've needed to introduce it in order to make savings of around £2 million. We've had a lot of trouble for £2 million. We need to find £20 million. And I think it's important that residents understand the strain that is on council's finances and the scale of what is required in the future if we're to meet the demands of a government that we don't agree with to make colossal savings, as I said. I introduced these papers. They're part one of two parts to the budget. There'll be more for the rest of the council to scrutinise in the new year. But these are the documents that I introduced now to go to scrutiny at the next stage with a recommendation that they're accepted. With a heavy heart in part, but essential if we're to retain good services in the council and keep costs down.
Thank you very much, Councillor. So I'll now turn to Jed before I come to Caroline. Jed.
Thank you, Leader. There's just a brief procedural point that I need to explain. You'll have seen from the papers that we hope to be able to present you with a set of the quality impact assessments for the decisions that lay before you. The importance of those assessments was recently underlined by the recent Bristol judgment. Unfortunately, we've not been able to complete all of those assessments to the standard that we would like, and therefore we've not been able to bring them before you today. Clearly, you wouldn't want to make any formal decisions in the absence of understanding what the impacts might be. and therefore we're going to recommend a slight change to the recommendations before you, which is that rather than agree the 3 items, that you note those items at this stage. By doing so, that won't delay the process of moving the items to scrutiny. By the time we go to scrutiny in November, we will have completed the equality impact assessment, so scrutiny will have the benefits of those, and it will mean that you'll then have the opportunity, when this returns to you early in the new year, of having the wisdom that scrutiny's been managed to apply to issues, plus the completed equality impact assessments at the standard that are required, and was, as I say, recently underlined in the recent court judgment. So my apologies that we've not been able to have them before you today. It does mean that you will be noted rather than agreeing at this stage, and the process will continue.
Thank you, Jeff, for that clarification, and I'll make that in our recommendations. Can I now turn to Caroline Holland?
Thank you. I suppose I just wanted to draw your attention, just following on from what Councillor Owens was saying about we've got replacement savings, because we always ask directors to review the savings currently in the business plan, and indeed I think that was an area where Northamptonshire were looked up for the fact that they weren't actually reviewing savings already in the plan and making sure that they were being delivered. So hopefully that's something that we've already put in train to make sure departments do review those. Some new savings have come forward, and also, apart from the environmental regeneration, which we expect those to come forward for the December Cabinet and January round of scrutiny, and new proposals at the end of the current capital programme to maintain our assets and IT infrastructure. There are also set out in the report, page 8 of the supplementary agenda, just some items around the local climate settlement. So I think it is one of the most unclear periods of times that we're moving into, with the uncertainty around that. We did have the statement that austerity is dead, but we're still not quite sure what that means, and whether there will be more money coming to us, or whether it means there might be an increase, for example, in the council tax referendum limit. So at the moment we've got the maximum levels of council tax assumed already within the budget, so anything over and above that may help us. But also we just don't know what's going to happen with the new host bonus, the new funding settlement, so there's still quite a period of uncertainty ahead of us. But certainly we will be looking to bring forward further savings as we go through the months up until March.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that clarification, and it is right that there is a lot of uncertainty out there, but we will as a council continue to be businesslike and look to supporting our most vulnerable residents. Any questions from Cabinet on this paper? Thank
Very
you.
brief
Councillor Draper.
Just a very brief one, Chair. I mean, yeah, really, I mean, Theresa May saying that austerity is over proves that she has a great sense of humour as well as being a brilliant dancer. This paper doesn't mention Brexit. Without rehearsing the lunacies of that, what kind of effect would that have on our long-term strategy?
We are looking to bring a paper to Cabinet in November, setting out what we believe the potential impact on us as an authority, on us and our services, and on us for our residents. It's the start of a process, because clearly there are still so many unknowns at this stage, but we're just looking to see and asking departments to review and see what they think under those sort of 3 main areas, what the impacts could be in the short, medium and long term. So it could mean that there could be a slight dip in our interest rates, a slight dip in our market value of our investments that we hold for the pension fund, but longer term it depends. The less we know, the more uncertain and therefore more jittery people are going to be. So that's just something that we need to, as soon as we know anything, to then see, does that have a risk for us or not.
Wish your colleague luck with that.
Thank you. We move on to the recommendations, and as Jed has said, and as is our vote, we want good, thorough equality impact assessments. We want them all finished and all being as thorough as possible without impugning or delaying the scrutiny consideration of our budget. So therefore our recommendations are to be, we will be noting this paper, this item 2025 draft business plan. So we're noting the draft savings, we're noting the proposed amendments, and the Cabinet knows the latest draft capital. Are those agreed?
Yes.
Thank you. We now move on to item 6, and our final item on this Cabinet meeting. That's Financial Report 2018-19, the report of August 2018. Councillor Mark Allison.
Yeah, thank you, Linda, and again, thank you to the excellent staff who are responsible for this report. I mentioned earlier that one of the disciplines that we have is in order to be a good business-like council, is that we look at the finances month by month. To see what is happening and to respond to pressures on our budgets. It's quite clear now, halfway through the year, that there is a very significant amount of pressure on some of our services, particularly in children's services and adult social care. And so we're now projecting that actually our budget, we're going to overspend it by about 0.5% of the gross budget for this year. That equates to about £2.75 million pounds. The report here outlines some of the ways that we can address the pressures that are on us. But we also have to bear in mind that a number of the people who are affected are in need of services that we have to supply and will supply. The report outlines what we're intending to do about that, but it does predict a overspend at the end of the year. We're also recommending some changes in the position of the capital programme and environment. All I can say is that it's a great shame that the government has chosen not to fully fund councils for the services that they provide, particularly to the most vulnerable people, to children, disabled people and the elderly. And I think when people look back on the history of the country, obviously they're going to look at this period between 2010 and probably 2020 as one of great turmoil over Brexit. But I think they'll also look back on it as a period of great shame for the country that our government did not look after our children, our disabled people and our elderly. And that is borne out in the pressures that are on councils across the country, not just ourselves, who are having to make big financial decisions based on not being funded properly for all those services. On that basis, I move to report.
Thank you, Councillor. So I move to Caroline Holland. Any views on this paper?
Thank you. We're also sort of monitoring the progress on savings for 18-19. Currently in year, and also the projection for next year as well, to see the impact that's going to have and whether there's any further challenges ahead of the gap that we've already got. So we're working closely with departments to then see what the impacts are and whether some of the savings we've monitored here also need to be adjusted in the future. Thank you.
Any questions for governance? Councillor Martin Welton.
Thank you, Chair. Just would like to obviously explain the environment in terms of the school publicity. This is something that I actually welcome because it will improve the safety outside of schools, but also as well in terms of enforcement. We know that many local residents, many parents have raised issues about parking outside school, and I have no doubt that this will be a considerable bonus, having this additional capital money and this environment into this area, and I have no doubt it is the right decision that the council is actually taking here. I think it will have considerable benefits for our young people.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from cabinet members? And we'll move to our final item. That's item 6, Financial Report 2018-19. We're looking at August Financial Report 2018. Recommendations A to C. Are they agreed? Thank you very much. That concludes our meeting.